monster.
Hey guys, Clone Guy here, and today we're going to be talking about Corona Clash, but it's no longer called Corona Clash. We have two name ideas for it. And I have written down who gave me these ideas, but I lost the notebook, but I'll find the notebook, and once we do find it, I'll have proper credits. Credits where credits are due, right? But for now, since we're not quite decided on a name, I'll just give you the name ideas. Project-19, perfect name, since we're hopefully on Tuesday going to be... closing the book on Operation Overhaul. Hopefully on Tuesday we'll be doing that. And we'll be transferring over to Project-19, which I think is a perfect name for this. The other idea was Outcasts, because this game is going to be run by players known as Outcasts. And they're a really cool kind of thing in this mode, and that allows you to not actually have to have any friends or be in a clan to actually play. Anyone can play, whether you're a clan or not, whether you have friends or not. And we'll get into that, and I'll explain that to you guys. I have all these rules in front of me. I don't know which order I should be reading these rules. They're not finalized yet, but these are just the base rules that will get a game going and keep it smooth, keep everything smooth, right? So let's get into what outcasts are before we begin. Outcasts. These are players without full teams that still wish to participate in the games. Teams that can't get enough players for a certain night are allowed to call upon these players to help fill their own rosters. Unlike when teams call help from players of other teams, they receive no penalties with outcasts on their teams. Outcasts are not allowed to align themselves to any one team. They are, after all, outcasts. If they do align themselves, they will no longer be outcasts and will instead be transferred to the aligned team. There is no penalty against changing teams, but you are not allowed to abuse this ability. Admins and moderators will be the final say in regards to abusing team changing. Example, gold team member or members switch teams to a bronze team so that they don't suffer a penalty. When a special event occurs, all players' alignments are temporarily paused. This allows all players to form their own temporary teams and participate if full teams are needed. If prizes are ever implemented into the ranked games, outcasts will not be able to receive any, as they are not a part of a team and therefore cannot receive a rank. So those are the outcasts. You do not need to be in a clan or have friends or anything like that. You show up into the Discord, you sign up, you say, hey, I'm an outcast. And anytime you're needed, you can play. And then what this will allow you to do is perhaps find a team you really, really like, a clan you really, really like, and then join them. I think this is a great way to find friends and keep this game going a little bit longer, because you're going to be having a lot of fun, I think, doing this. So that's what an outcast is, okay? Let's see. Let's get my next set of rules out. Probably scoring. You're probably wondering, okay, well, how do you get points? Alright, well, here is how you get points. There are 4 leagues in the ranked games: gold, silver, bronze, and unranked. Your team will score 3 points for winning, plus an additional 1 point for every league higher that team is from the winning team. You will also lose 1 point per league that team is lower than your team. Example, if a silver team will receive 4 points for beating a gold team, because the gold team is 1 rank higher. A gold team will only receive 1 point for defeating a bronze team, because they lose 2 points for fighting a team that's 2 ranks lower than them. Your team will lose 1 point for losing a match, in addition to how much higher your league to the team is if you lose to it. Example, that's worded a little bit weird, but we'll fix it, don't worry. Example, a gold team will lose 2 points if they are defeated by a silver team, and will lose 3 if defeated by a bronze. A gold team will only lose 1 point if they are defeated by another gold team. Does that make sense? I think so, hopefully. Your team does not lose points if defeated by a higher league. So if you're a bronze team, you lose nothing for fighting against gold teams. Really, you don't lose anything if you fight against them, so that's pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about that at all. Unranked teams may only... Oh, here we go. Yeah, unranked teams may only compete against other unranked teams and bronze teams. Unranked teams cannot lose points even in defeat. They will receive 3 points for victories against other unranked teams and 4 for defeating a bronze team. Bronze teams will receive 2 points for defeating an unranked team and lose 2 points for losing to an unranked team. Your team score will be based on which league your top player is from. This rule only applies if a substitution is needed. If a silver player plays for a bronze team, the bronze team will be scored as if they're silver. Unranked teams can only use outcasts and bronze players as substitutes. Moderators and admins that are watching the games are allowed to give bonus points when they see fit. These bonus points are not to exceed the amount of points a team would get for winning. Example, 3 points for winning, so only 3 points are allowed to either team. The losing team cannot receive more bonus points than the winning team, but those points, the losing team can receive more bonus points than the winning team, but those points cannot surpass the winning team's total points. Like I said, a little bit bad wording right here, but we'll have it all fixed when this is all done. The winning team will always get more points than the losing team, is what that means. So, in a losing game, you could be credited 3 bonus points, and the winning team will be only credited 1. As long as the winning team gets more points overall, that's allowed. So at one game, you might get 6 points for winning because you get 3 bonus points plus 3 points for winning, and the losing team gets a couple bonus points as well. Of course, I think they would only get 2 total points, 3 bonus points. They lose a point for losing, of course, so they would get 2 total points. So I don't think it's actually even possible for a losing team to get more points, but if, let's say my math is wrong and it is actually possible, you just can't. It's impossible. So you're always, the winner always gets more, of course. I mean, that makes sense, and that's how it should be, right? That is how it should be. And so now you're probably wondering, okay, you talked about substitute players. What the heck are substitute players? Okay, here we go. Substitute players. When a team cannot fill a whole roster for a match, they are allowed to play underhanded, or they may call upon players from other teams to fill the slots. Teams with substitute players will be scored by the player from the highest ranked team. Example, if a silver or bronze team has a gold player play for them, they will be scored as if they were gold. Gold teams receive no such penalties because obviously there's nothing higher than gold. There is no penalty for substituting an outcast for your team, as outcasts are unranked. That's the whole point. You may have an outcast. There may be a super unicum outcast out there, and you're a bronze team, and you can't fill up your team. You can grab that guy. No penalty whatsoever. None. Outcasts are free to use. Use them. Sounds weird, but go ahead. Go ahead. Now you're probably wondering, alright, how does the matchmaking work? How do you create a match? Well, here you go. If a team desires a slot, they will let a scheduler know and will get slotted in. So you're like, alright, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, that slot's open, I'd like to take that slot. There you go, it's yours. This team will then get to decide the match template as well as the maximum league they're willing to fight. So in other words, if you're bronze and you're like, I really want this slot, but I don't want to play against a gold team, then you can say that. It's like, no gold teams allowed. And that will be completely allowed. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. The gold league, of course, has no such luxuries because gold is the maximum. You don't have to fight any teams that are better than you or leagues that are better than you. So, you're gonna, if somebody challenges you, you have to play them. Okay. Silver league may refuse gold teams, and bronze leagues may refuse silver and gold. Unranked may refuse any league, other than unranked teams, of course. If no teams accept a challenge, an outcast team will be assigned to play. This game is then classified as an outcast game. 1 point will be granted in victory, and 0 will be taken in defeat. So don't worry. If an outcast game is played, you will lose nothing. So don't worry about that. Once a game is scheduled, the template and time cannot be changed unless both teams agree. And they must inform a schedule who will then make sure their new time chosen is available. There you go. Once a game is scheduled, both teams are to arrive in the training room at least 5 minutes before the match. If teams are not filled by 5 minutes after the starting time, outcasts will be called in to fill the gaps. There are no penalties for having outcasts play for your team. If no one from your team shows up, you will be penalized 1 point, and the other team will receive half the points you would for defeating the AWOL team rounded up. Example, 3 points divided by 2 is 1.5, rounded up is 2. You will have received 2 points for doing nothing. On top of this, if a full outcast team can be made, the team that did show up may elect to play this team for another point upon victory. Teams do not lose points for losing to a team of outcasts. These games are called outcast games. If not enough outcasts can show up to fill in an outcast game, players from any teams may show up. This game will still be classified as outcast team as long as no one from the original team shows up. If a player from the original team does show up after the game gets classified as an outcast game, they will not be allowed to play. Hopefully that all makes sense. Maybe. I'm sure someone's like, I have no idea what's going on. Well, hopefully a lot of you do. The last thing I think we have here so far are the admins. Probably wondering, okay, what do they do? This is real quick. Admins and moderators. An admin or moderator must be present for a game to be classified as ranked. If no admin or moderator are present, you may still play, of course, but you cannot receive or lose points. It'll just be a fun scrimmage. Admins and moderators are allowed to play for their own teams and play as substitutes when needed. They do not classify as outcasts unless they are not part of a team. Okay, I worded that a little bit weird. So let me say that again. Admins and moderators are allowed to play for their own teams and play as substitutes when needed. They do not classify as outcasts unless they are not part of a team. So outcasts can be moderators and admins as well. They may not facilitate their own games. When an admin or moderator is playing, they are not classified as admins or moderators until after the game. Admins and moderators may observe their teams play to allow the game to be ranked. They may not give out bonus points or play in the games themselves if they choose to facilitate a game that hosts their own team. This will only happen if no other admins or moderators can be present. There we go. And those are the rules we have. Those are I think, very simple. It sounds like there's a lot of them, but it's really simple. Don't worry about the points. The moderators and admins will worry about the point system. You know, just show up and say, hey, this is when we want to play, and boom, you'll be locked in. And what a template is of course 7 versus 7 tier 10, historical battle. You can only pick premium tanks at tier 8 or stuff like that. There's gonna be a lot of templates to choose from, which I'm still coming up with. But yeah, there we go. That is Project 19. Beta testing will be in May. It's happening. It's actually happening. I was super scared when we were talking about it last week. I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is gonna be hard, but it's actually coming together. It's actually coming together, and I'm going to be reaching out to people who have reached out to me to figure out if they really want to be an admin or moderator. Of course, if you still do, let me know in the comments below. Join my Discord in the description below, and message me there as well. But that's it for today. I hope you guys all enjoy. If you did, slap that like button, comment, subscribe. Make sure you go check out SpaceBANDIT and Koala Mentality's YouTube's links in the description below, and I'll be seeing you guys all later. Take care, everyone, and peace out.